You'll pay for my son forever. She smirked in court. I stayed silent. Crushed. The judge agreed. Years later. She's back. Begging. Please. Don't show them that. But I just handed the photos to my lawyer. The entire room went silent. The judge looked at her. Ma'am, is this true? Hey everyone. I'm writing this out because I need to get it off my chest. For 4 years, I really thought I had it all figured out. I was with a woman I loved. And we were building something real. When she told me she was pregnant, getting married felt like the most natural next step in the world. I was all in. I was going to be a husband and a father. And I was ready for it. We had a small wedding. Moved into a place we could call our own. And for 2 years, I thought we were a family. The first crack in that foundation appeared during a routine doctor's visit for our son. He had some minor health stuff going on. And the specialist mentioned something about a rare genetic marker they found in his blood work, a marker that neither of us carried. I remember just staring at the doctor, my brain trying to process the words. How is that possible? I asked. The doctor just gave me a sympathetic look. The car ride home was dead silent. When I finally confronted her, she denied everything. That's impossible, she said, her voice tight, refusing to look me in the eye. The doctors must have made a mistake. For 6 months, that was her story. She stuck to it so hard that I almost started to doubt what I'd heard. But the silence in our house got so heavy you could feel it. Finally, one night, she broke down. She admitted she'd cheated. But she swore it was only once. A stupid mistake that happened before we got married. I've been completely faithful to you since the day we said our vows. She sobbed. But listening to her, a cold thought settled in my gut. My mind wasn't focused on when it happened. It was focused on the fact that the entire reason we got married, the child I believed was mine, was based on a lie. How could I ever trust anything she said again? The foundation wasn't just cracked. It was completely gone. I filed for divorce. That's when I ran into the second wall. The legal system. My lawyer laid it out for me in his office. His face grim. In this state, he said, any child born within a marriage is presumed to be the husband's. Period. My only way to get my name off the birth certificate was if the biological father came forward to claim the child. But he was a ghost. He had vanished completely, leaving me to deal with the fallout. The day in court was a blur. The judge looked at the paperwork, listened to the arguments, and then the gavel came down. Divorce granted. And then came the knockout blow. I was ordered to continue paying child support until the child turns 18. I just sat there, numb. I felt like I'd been betrayed twice. First by her, and then by a system that seemed designed to punish me for my loyalty and reward her for deception. I feel completely trapped. It's not just about the money. It's about being legally and financially tied to a lie. Every single month. For the next decade and a half. Has anyone else ever been caught in a legal loophole like this? How do you even begin to fight a system that doesn't seem to care about the truth? Thanks for all the support on my last post. It helped more than you know. Just when I thought things couldn't get any worse, life decided to prove me wrong. It happened on the morning of May 23 RD. I was on my way to work. Just walking my usual route. When 3 guys stepped out from between 2 buildings. It happened so fast. 1 minute I was thinking about my to-do list. The next I was staring at 3 knives. There wasn't even time to think. They pushed me against a wall. And in the chaos, I felt these sharp, cold pains on my head, my arm, my chest, under my arm. They took everything. My wallet, my phone, even the damn lunch I had packed. Then they were gone. I just slid down the wall and sat on the pavement. I waited for what felt like an eternity. Probably close to 30 minutes. But no one came by. Finally, I flagged down a guy walking his dog and asked him to call me an Uber. It wasn't until I was in the back of the car, trying my best not to get blood on the guy's seats, that a new kind of panic hit me. My brain finally caught up. I have no way to pay for this ride. The driver was getting annoyed. Understandably. Asking for the destination. I just gave him my address and explained what happened. I promised he could come by later and I'd get him the cash. The whole ride was just this awful, tense silence. I spent the rest of the day in the hospital getting stitched up. They released me that evening. But I was completely cut off. No phone. No bank cards. No way to even order a pizza. I went 2 days without a real meal. Eventually, my mom showed up. She took one look at me and just took over. She brought me to her place, got me fed, and started making the calls to cancel my cards and contact my job to explain why I'd been a no-show. And here's the weird part. The physical pain was almost a relief. It was so immediate and real that it pushed everything else out. For the first time in years, I wasn't obsessing over my ex-wife's betrayal or the court case. The stabbing pain in my side was louder than the ache in my chest. I actually haven't even touched my antidepressants since the attack. The turning point came a week later. My mom helped me get a new phone, and I was at her house setting it up. I logged into my Google account and got a notification. Storage full? I figured it was just years of old photos. So I went to my drive to start cleaning things out. That's when I saw it. I had added my Google account to her phone years ago to help her sync contacts. And I guess I never removed it. Her phone had been backing up to my cloud this entire time. My heart started pounding. I clicked on a folder and my whole world just fell apart all over again. It was all there. Years of it. Countless photos of her with other men. Screenshots of messages that made me sick to my stomach. She hadn't just cheated before the wedding. She had been cheating through our entire relationship and the entire marriage. I found a conversation about an abortion she had months before the pregnancy that led to our marriage. What hurt the most was finding pictures of another man. In our home, on our couch. Dated before the divorce was even finalized. All those years I turned down advances from other women out of respect for my vows. She was living a completely different life. I sat there for hours. Just scrolling. My mind trying to piece together this new, horrific version of my life. It was devastating. But something else started to grow under the shock. Resolve. This wasn't just a suspicion anymore. This was undeniable proof. I downloaded everything and backed it up 3 times. I'm contacting my lawyer. We're reopening the case. I'm about to walk back into the fire that almost destroyed me, armed with all the evidence I never had. What do you guys think? Is it worth the fight to expose all of it? Even if it means reliving the worst years of my life in a courtroom. I just got back from court. I'm exhausted. And my head is spinning. But I need to write this down. My lawyer was incredible. He laid out all the evidence we found on the cloud drive. Piece by piece. The photos. The text messages. The screenshots. He presented it all calmly. But the effect on the courtroom was immediate. I watched the judge's face as he looked through the file. His expression went from neutral to grim. His jaw tightening. He kept looking from the printouts back up at my lawyer. And I knew he was grasping the full scale of the deception. But then came the first, and hardest, blow. My lawyer had explained the legal situation to me beforehand. But hearing it from the judge made it brutally real. He confirmed that my ex can't be charged for the abortion she had behind my back. Legally. It was her decision alone. Hearing that felt like a physical punch. My mind immediately did the math. There was a 5,050 chance that child could have been mine. And she made that choice without ever telling me. Taking away a life that might have been part of me. It felt like I was grieving a child I never even got the chance to know. Next, we moved on to the money. We showed the bank statements, proving ID sent around 35,000 over the last couple of months. But because ID sent it directly to her account, the court couldn't legally prove it was specifically for the child. That was tough to swallow. The judge then said something about how family court always acts in the best interest of the child. And the phrase echoed in my ears, feeling like a bitter joke after everything I'd been through. However, there was a silver lining. My lawyer assured me that based on the judge's statements, the child support payments will be stopped. The 7 months of payments I already made are now under official review. And there's a chance I could get that money back. I wish I could remember the judge's exact words. But that's when everything started to go fuzzy. The moment I fully processed that she wouldn't face any consequences for what felt like murder to me, I just broke. I started crying. But it wasn't just sadness. It was this tidal wave of anger and grief crashing together. My whole body started to shake. A violent, uncontrollable tremor. It felt like I'd swallowed something scalding hot that was now burning its way through my chest. My stomach twisted into knots. Like a swarm of butterflies with razor blades for wings. Just as I felt like I was going to completely lose it, my lawyer guided my attention back to the judge. And that's when the single moment of pure relief came. The judge looked directly at my lawyer and acknowledged that based on the new evidence, my ex had clearly lied under oath during our divorce proceedings. He officially ordered them to pull her records and launch a formal investigation into her for perjury. She is going to be subpoenaed. The next court date is set for July 1 Street. For the first time, she's going to have to answer for her lies. Not to me, but to the court. It's not the complete justice I wanted. But it's a start. It's a real, tangible start. I'm still processing everything. But I'm moving forward slowly but surely. I'm grateful to my mother for her unconditional support. I've learned that healing isn't linear. But with every step, I get a little closer to peace. Thanks to everyone who's taken the time to read or reach out. I'll post another update when the court process is resolved.